Alright guys, so in today's video, basically what I want to do is explain how I got into fish keeping and how I got into the hobby itself. I got my first fish in May of my 9th grade year in high school. It was a 10-gallon Aquarium setup with black mollies, a common plecostomus, sunburst platies, and zebra danios. Now, when I got this aquarium, I was ecstatic. I loved everything about fish. My dad was really into the hobby itself and actually had cichlids in this tank back when he was in college. He bought this tank and it's still functioning, it's still beautiful, and it still can hold a lot of fish. And another quick update, I have in here a breeder's net. If you can see, inside of it is a baby red-tailed catfish that I'm growing out so the fish do not pick on him. So I basically have him in there so that the fish don't pick on him. And basically I just wanted to talk about why I got into fish and why it's so important to me. So yeah, I got my first fish tank. This fish tank was owned by my dad originally. And I basically decided that I wanted to learn more about fish, so I started researching on YouTube, and YouTube really helped me learn about fish and what fish are fun to own and what are popular fish, and what fish that are like cheap and where I can get them, and what fish are compatible with each other. So following up with my 10-gallon tank, I decided I would set up my own larger aquarium. After seeing Aquarium Co-op's Tiger Barb and Clown Loach tank, I fell immediately in love with those combination of fish. So I set up this tank not knowing that much about fish, not knowing how much water conditioner you needed to add, and how clean the tank had to be, and how frequent water changes had to be done on the tank to maintain its clarity and to maintain its perfection. So I got an aquarium. This aquarium setup, I housed 8 clown loaches and 8 tiger barbs. Now, when I did this at first, I did not know what I was getting myself into. The store owners at Petco had told me, oh yeah, those fish will be fine together, oh no worry. And what happened was they didn't mention that I needed bacteria first in the tank. Now, bacteria was essential because the fish need bacteria before you put them into a random tank, because they will not survive without a set bacteria cycle, as well as the nitrates that cycle in the aquarium. So my ammonia, my nitrates, and a lack of bacteria were all spiked and causing the fish to die almost immediately when I put them in. So I realized maybe clown loaches aren't for me, being so that they are so fragile to water changes and so fragile to water itself, because they're scaleless fish, so they need almost pristine water conditions. So what I decided to do was get 30 mollies that were on sale for adoption, $1 each, from a breeder at Petco who brought them in. So I set them up, I put them in after all of my tiger barbs and clown loaches died, and no refund. Petco allowed me to exchange it with 30 of those mollies. So I did that. The mollies were doing well, but I wanted more. So what I decided to do was start looking into bigger fish and bigger fish I could house. And after the mollies, I ended up getting my first group of tetras. I got the Buenos Aires tetras and the white dress skirt, which are in here to this day. And those fish were exciting, they were fast, they were fun, and I absolutely loved them. And following with that, I then started getting fish such as the Keeley fish and blue German rams, and I got Bolivian rams, and I was starting to get into the semi-aggressive South American cichlid species, which was kind of what jump-started my passion for cichlids and for predatory fish. So after I got those Bolivian rams, my immediate thought was, you need to get African cichlids. So I went to my local pet store, 405 Tropical Fish, and got 6 of these African cichlids from Lake Malawi and Lake Mabuna, which are native to Africa. And I got these cichlids and I loved everything about them. I loved how fast they were and how quick they were to eat, and how non-fragile they were actually, because most people said, oh, cichlids are gonna be aggressive, they're gonna be territorial, they're not gonna get along with each other, the water conditions have to be perfect. But in my case, my cichlids did fine whether or not they were in perfect water. They're hardy fish in my case, and I really loved my cichlids. And that's what really sparked my interest in even bigger fish. So I moved from South American cichlids to African cichlids, and then currently I am housing two of the larger South American, I think the largest South American cichlid species, which is the Oscar. And I'm also housing 4 Temensius peacock bass, tetras. I realize that the tetras may not last in that tank, but I'm looking to really grow these big fish out. I have an angelfish right there, also from South America. He's pretty large for an angelfish. I bought him at Pet Supplies Plus knowing that he was an aggressive fish. He had to be separated from his other fish, so I bought him due to that, because I liked the aggression factor that he demonstrated, and I thought he would kind of hold his own against my Oscars. So I got him. I also have my Bolivian rams and my German rams I had to give back to the pet store knowing that they would get eaten by these monsters fish back here. And I'm also currently housing the baby redtail and the tiger shovel nose. Now I had a black ghost knife, but he was eaten by the Oscars. I did not know that he would not be able to hold his own, since he was probably like that big, and I thought he'd be hiding, he'd be fine, but I guess I was wrong. And now I want to tell you guys about my story with buying fish. When you buy a fish, at the start, I didn't think it would lead to such an expense. I've spent so much money on buying new fish and going to the pet store to buy food, buy frozen bloodworms, and all that. And my advice for you guys would be, if you're interested in fish, to start small and gradually get more fish. Do not just spend everything all at once. It's not going to work out. Your fish are going to die. They have to acclimate slowly. You can't add too many fish at once, because then it spikes the nitrates and it spikes the ammonia. You want to make sure that what you're doing is reasonable and smart. Now, why I love fish so much is that, in my case, I was lacking a passion, and I was lacking a kind of a drive to go out and to do stuff and to really find an additional happiness. So after watching the king of YouTubers such as the King of DIY, Paul Cafaro, Predatory Fins, Catch 'em All Fishing, and Aquarium Co-op, I immediately found my passion and I found my love for aquariums. And that's when I decided that I wanted to devote all my love and all my passion to this hobby, and to really expand as much as I possibly could in this hobby and learn as much as I could and grow alongside that. These fish have helped me calm down. They've reduced my anxiety. They've allowed me to find happiness without needing an additional support factor. They are always so awesome to watch and to see them grow and to just care for them, and it's amazing what fish can do for you. It's almost as if it's therapeutic, and it's really helped me throughout my years in the hobby. It's coming up to a year in, got my first fish tank in May. It's coming up in a year. And yeah, I think that aquariums are a great outlet for people, and I really think that this hobby was a great decision in my case, and I really hope that other people get inspired by this video to get into just find your passion and to find what makes you happy. In my case, it's fish. It doesn't have to be fish, but whatever makes you happy, be good at it. Learn as much as you can, because we all never know when this will be the last time, for example, that I'll feed my fish. You never know when you're gonna have to say goodbye to them, and just live your life with passion and live it to the fullest. And that's what I'm trying to inquire, and that's what I'm trying to implement into this fish hobby. And I appreciate all you guys do for me, and I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate the support, and I'm continuing to expand, and I really hope you guys stay around to watch my videos and to see how much I can grow in this hobby. And yeah, so thank you guys for the support, and stay tuned for the next video.